Jeez, what's going on with me?
Just answering on our phone, on our watch now. Can you hear me? No.
What?
Why would you be
What?
able
Yeah,
to?
I can hear you. What's going on? I can hear you.
there you go.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you fine
Hello?
now. What's happening? Bluetooth.
Hello. Testes.
Testes.
1, 2, maybe 3.
Finished?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I tried to answer on the Fitbit, which you can do, but it doesn't. It's just, answer on the Fitbit, it answers on the phone, it doesn't answer on the headphones,
The Fitbit. The poor man's Apple Watch.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Long story short, though, behind the Fitbit, I do have a Garmin Forerunner, which is what I used for years when I did triathlon and ran, all right? Sorry, that makes it sound like I really did triathlon. I did some triathlons, but I ran a lot. I used to use a Garmin Forerunner.
I do think there's a lot of, athletic achievements that you're saying you did, but just feel hard to believe now. Looking at you.
Yes, it is hard. But I sent your wife some photos the other day as proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to delete them.
Did you?
You get in trouble.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, me in a triathlon suit, I understand. But legit, I have a Garmin Edge for my bike, and I used to have a Forerunner watch. But then the strap broke, and then the problem with it was it was before everything synced seamlessly from the watch to the Interworld. So I used to have to plug the watch into the computer. It was one of those old Forerunners. Plug it in, upload the GPX files.
Yeah.
And anyway, Pamela had a Fitbit. She bought herself a Fitbit because for a day she decided she was into exercise. And then that didn't really work. I don't know what happened. It broke. She contacted Fitbit. They sent her a brand new one. She's never taken it out of the box. Yesterday the day before I decided to go for a run and thought, here, there's a Fitbit. I'll just use that. Plugged it in. Now I'm addicted to it. It's great.
Oh no.
It's great.
The thing is, is it like the Apple Watch where it tells you, start running, you haven't done enough exercise, you've got to do the steps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I used to have all that stuff turned on my Apple Watch, and in the end, it was like having a drill sergeant on your arm.
It was like having Yasmin on your arm, really.
On the other arm, yeah. So I had the Apple Watch on one arm and the real thing on the other arm. Just both of them
nagging at you that you haven't moved enough.
Yeah. And so I've turned off all... But it's funny now, I barely use the Apple Watch for any of the exercise stuff because I'm just like... It's just annoying. Because after a while you think... Because there was a point where I was like, you were getting achievements and you were doing this and they send you little medals and you get that little bit of dopamine going, oh, I got a new medal because I walked 200 steps in an hour or something.
Yeah.
And after a while, it just becomes annoying. And it's like, stand up. And he goes, I am standing up.
Yeah.
I'm at my standing desk doing my editing.
Sleep standing. Leave me alone. But I'm with you on that. And I don't think I'm really up for the continual notifications. It told me today to do some steps. And I was like, here, slide on. I'm all right. But I like that I can just do exercise and track it and go for a run and track it.
Yeah, I do like being able to track it because, I don't know about your Fitbit, but with the Apple Watch, sometimes it doesn't understand what you're doing. Like, for example, when I got on a plane once, I had it on, and it literally thought I'd walked 3,000 miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I got at that point, I got really bummed out.
You haven't eaten, and you've burned 4 million calories.
Yeah,
you're probably dead.
And it kind of ruins the whole thing because you've got to a certain point, and there's all these. It's not that accurate, at the end of the day, and it's very hard to go back and delete and go, I didn't actually do that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing. And sometimes, like when Yasmin, we walk along the road, because she's got a Apple Watch as well. We'll be walking, and she likes to, as we sort of interlock arms, and she has her hand in my pocket.
Oh, I bet she does.
In my top pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes up and goes, "Oh, are you doing the elliptical thing?" It always asks her. Whenever we're interlinking arms, the elliptical thing. I'm going to do this, and you're going to go, oh, okay. It's when you're on that machine where your feet. It's kind of like a skier, but your arms are doing this, backwards and forwards. You're not getting this, are you?
Yeah, I'm just looking at you.
Just Google.
What a tit!
Yeah,
I'll go with you on it. Oh yeah, that, dude. I do that every day.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on. Go on. So, are you doing the elliptical thing? It asked. Is that it? That's what it's
ends? No, I know. I'm just telling you that it's like it doesn't always understand what's going on.
Gotcha.
And like sometimes when you're doing cleaning or something, it goes, "Oh, it looks like you've started a rowing thing."
Right.
I'm not rowing.
Okay, so
I'm scrubbing the floor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that can be very good.
One-arm rowing.
Yeah. So I can't wait until they get a bit better, a bit more betterer.
A Fitbit
a Fitbit betterer.
Huh?
And then it can actually sort of really sort of see what you're doing. But then at the same time, that also makes me think, Jesus, what kind of world are we living in? Because now you can now with some insurance companies, they'll give you an Apple Watch.
Yes.
And then they'll send all the data back to the insurance company. And then they'll check you, and then your insurance will be dependent on the data that comes from the watch.
Yeah.
And that part of me is like, wow, that's amazing, because it just can track you. And the other part of me is like, well, great. So that means if you shove on an Apple Watch and you haven't looked after yourself, but you're trying to do better, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's part of me going, I'm not really sure about that, because there's other things as well where I heard about this. I was doing some training for a medical company, and they were talking about sort of like preeclampsia, which is a thing to do with unborn babies. And in their investigation into that, they found that they could do DNA testing on babies before they were born, and they could tell whether they were prone to, let's say, cancer, diabetes, heart failure, strokes, that kind of thing. So they could collect all that data on a baby before it's born, and then you come into the world
with health insurance.
And your health insurance would be screwed. And now there's lots of wonderful things about this, because they're doing tests.
Gotcha.
And it's going, oh great, so we know that the baby might have trouble breathing, so let's cope with that. But then there's this other side of it, like, well, if the insurance company gets hold of that, you're screwed before you're even born.
Yeah,
because it goes, oh well, yeah, and so it goes, oh yeah, well we see that you're prone to cancer and heart disease, so we won't be giving you insurance for either of those things. And then that also leads on to another thing of, like, say for example, Yasmin and I get pregnant, we go and have these tests are then done. Do we then go, oh, actually our baby's like, it looks like it might have a stroke at some point, so let's just terminate it? And at that point, are you then getting into eugenics?
Sorry, it might have a stroke at some point. Like,
because let's just say,
what's at some point though, in its first 3 years, or like,
I don't know, but like, for example, if you had a baby, you could see through the DNA that it would be likely, or there's a 60% chance it's going to get cancer, an 80% chance it will get heart disease. And then you can look at it and then go, do I want to have to deal with that? Do we take the risk? And then there's that point of like, at what point do you go, well, Jesus, like if and it's not just you, because if you then look at it like, well, the insurance company that we have is going to see that it's got a 60% chance of having cancer, so we're going to get screwed. So do we just terminate the baby now and not have to worry about that? Which then you get into that whole, I think it's called eugenics. Oh, the whole, making the perfect Aryan race, as it were.
Wow.
Which is scary.
This is a lot. This is deep for the weekend, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
happy. Is this Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday. Well, it's Saturday to us. You've ruined Saturday, but
well, I've ruined your Saturday and ruined everyone else's
Jesus
Sunday.
Christ, tonight.
I
don't. Yeah. No.
Maybe.
It's a hard
don't like
one,
any of it.
because it's like, where does it end? Because we either say yes to everything scientific, or we say no. Because the problem is, survival of the fittest is fact at the minute, because so many people are still alive because of modern day medicine. And while that's great, it's also causing a shitstorm. So if we sit in limbo, we just prolong a lot of lives that wouldn't have been prolonged years ago. Or we take the next step and we potentially terminate lives before they even happen, or work out ways to fix it. I mean, we'll end up just, if you think
about it, like robots. Say if you were from a poorer family, and then you're going, well, if I have this child, it's going to cost us God knows how much.
Yeah.
And then you're putting like a monetary value on your child's life.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I think that's kind of wrong.
Yeah,
that's a sad way for us to live. That you're like,
it is.
Here, what are we, 6 months in? How much is this baby actually going to cost us in hospital bills after it's born? Not for me. Not for me. Get the coat hanger out. I don't. That's
what? Jeez. Well, I thought I made everyone's Sunday bad. Now you've just taken it You've taken the biscuit, taken it out of the tin, thrown it back in the tin, thrown the tin out the window.
sucked it, got it wet, and chucked it back in the packet. So that and then the next one's like, what the fuck is that? No, but I mean, like that is a sad existence. That like that. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because you're putting that decision on people rather than it just being a decision that Mother Nature's made for us.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is that in theory it's nice because it means that you can look at your child's life and then, like, for example, apparently there are other things as well. You can see where, like, oh, would they be more prone to, like, you can see their body shape and stuff, and you can go, well, they'll be more prone to, like, let's say playing football type exercises or cardio.
Sorry, and, I'm bleeding again. What the fuck is this?
Oh, if only your parents had known about your bleeding. In my hand. Oh my God.
I swear to God, dude, what's happening to my body?
You know how, like, you were just saying Mother Nature's survival of the fittest?
Do you know that smell of blood? I can smell blood now on my hands. This is your fault. You mentioned abortion, and I just started bleeding. What the fuck's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
What is happening?
I'm just talking.
Jesus
you're like,
Christ.
You're feeling, are you getting that thing where you're emotionally attached so much that you start feeling the physical effects?
Yeah, fuck's sake. I think that's bleeding from my hand. I hope it is, and not just bleeding. I was like, am I bleeding from the nose or something? I've also got this, like, focus peaking on my monitor. So there's obviously there's little red lines around everything that's in focus. And when I lean in, my nose is red. There's red lines around my nostrils.
You can change the colour of that.
I don't care. I for a second there, I thought my nose was bleeding, but it was the red focus lines.
Leave it on all.
So anyway, back to abortion. Is what you're saying?
No.
But I mean, like, what you're saying there is, like, it is really mad, right? And for us, our youngest, our daughter, she is now 6, but when she was born, she was fine. But when she was about 1.5, I think, I can't remember the exact. I should remember the exact ages, but I never do. But for about two and a half years, she went through these febrile seizures, and she was in and out of hospital and in ICU and all sorts. It was 2.5 fucking very stressful years of our lives, and Jesus, sorry, my foam's falling off again. We'll get there. All right, we're bored of the foam story, but it's happening. We're just gonna deal with it. But dude, like, that's the sort of thing that you could have called before, but I think anyone making a decision on that pre-child being alive is scary. Is a scary thought.
It's frightening,
because
isn't it?
We just dealt with it, and like to put it into really depressing reality here. My wife had phoned me, like, when it first happened, and she'd, like, just distraught, not knowing what was happening because Katie had gone into the seizure and she was blue and she was like, she looks dead, all this stuff, and like that's kind of the level. It was very scary for 2 years. But when we were in ICU or in one of the wards or something for like a week, there was this other parent there with a kid and I thought our kid was like going through a bad time. So I met another parent whose kid was in way worse a condition, and they were just like, they were dealing with it. And I'll tell you what, it builds character, and it's funny how people deal with stuff like that. And I remember speaking to one of these parents, and I think the kid had like cerebral palsy or something like that. And I was like, how do you deal with this? And her answer was insane. She just said, well, I don't know otherwise. Like, I only know this child to have cerebral palsy. So I don't know I can't compare it to life with this child. And I was like, wow, it's just a real, like, eye-opener. And I looked at our problem and thought, shit could be way worse. That could be a way worse situation. So I think it's like, I don't think you could actually make that decision without it being very, very selfish early on. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is, it's all to do with the insurance company, isn't it, really? Because that's where you're screwed. Because I think in the UK, given the fact that our NHS is mostly free, technically you'd be in a much better state than you would be in the United States, for example.
Yeah, totally.
But even though I know that there's lots of stories on the news where in this country, there's children with horrible diseases and cases, and the parents are still, having to fund, to help, care for these children, because they have to change their whole house round and, have to build all this stuff, which is just like, and you'd think that with all the money we have in the government and everything, you'd help people like that more. But then you're seeing that's the problem, is that, like, well, if you know that you're going to not get any help, that the insurance companies are going to screw you, that it's a selfish decision, but like it's a survival of the fittest decision, isn't it? And it would push you into an arena into an arena of the unknown in a completely different way.
Yeah. So, but if you just don't buy an Apple Watch, you'll be fine.
Well, yeah, or we don't have all these... Because this is the thing about all these tests they're thinking about... Because scientifically, it makes so much sense to do them. Because it's like, the amount we could find out would be amazing. And then it gets put into the wrong hands of people who are greedy and want money.
Yeah.
And it's no longer for the greater good about, how do we fight these diseases and illnesses and how can we make the human race better. It would be like, we'll do that, but it will come at a cost.
Yeah. But is that not
and
everything,
that's the problem.
Everything ever in the existence of our species is that for everybody doing something good, there's some fucker with greed destroying it for everyone.
Yeah.
Is that something we just have to be like, that's life?
Well, this is an interesting point.
Either we just stop developing things, or we accept that there's going to be people with greed and we need to find a way to deal with them.
I had an argument a discussion with someone once about, they were saying that like if everyone was equal, like we all got paid the same, we all had the same opportunities, and we all had the same stuff.
Called communism. Yeah.
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 There'd be no crime, there'd be no this, that, the other, and everyone would be happy and everything would be perfect. Yeah. And I was like, no, it wouldn't be, because there is always some fucker that wants more.
Yeah, yeah.
Or doesn't want to live in that. And I'm not talking about, wants greed more. It's just like, well, I don't want to walk this way to work this morning.
Yeah.
I want to get on my bike and go this way. No, we don't do that, because everyone's equal and everyone must take the train. Or whatever. You know, and it could even be something as simple as that. And I was like, yes, because we always want more, or someone always wants more. Or something
but
different.
Then also it's
and that's
also
why
a level
it'll never
of,
work.
It's control as well, because when you think about it, if everyone didn't get money and everyone was just given what we needed to eat and a house, but part of that was you all had to work and you did a job in it. But then it's like, how do you work that out? Well, a token, but then token becomes money, and then money, it's like, well, here, I worked harder. The problem is it's a mixture between people being greedy and lazy shits. I've been
Isn't that amazing? It's both sides, isn't it?
The problem is there's a bunch of us
the people
in the
on the top and the bottom that are just getting screwed by the top and the bottom.
Yeah, the people in the middle are just the ones who are just like, everyone's just doing their job well, working hard, looking after it. But then there's people at the bottom who are lazy, who can't be bothered. And then there's people at the end who just want more than everybody else continually and are never happy. But at the same time, are the people at the top, are they the ones pushing us forward? To an extent, a lot of them are. Those people with
or are they the ones
drive.
holding us back?
I don't know. It's a rhetorical question. Tell us in the comment section below. Because we don't know the answer here. We're just two guys who didn't expect to be speaking about this today.
Oh my god!
But it is really interesting though. It is really like when you actually start to look into that. Because I've talked about this before with Pamela. I just always like, and it's funny because whenever I if I'm working with like companies here and we talk like somehow I end up doing these social media advertising, marketing. There's a lot of slashes in here. Workshops with companies about just how to market themselves, especially on social media and digital platforms and things. And we come up with, it's more like a creative marketing strategy thing. But I always end up talking about this concept of business is simple and going back like to the old school days where someone grew carrots and someone reared pigs and they were like, any chance of some carrots? So, of course you can.
I thought I was learning how to make an Instagram story, and here I am learning how to craft.
This is how farming works. Back to agriculture, all right? And it was just like this basic trade-off, thing for thing kind of thing. Jesus. Which I'm just going to keep piling foam while it falls off. Blood and foam.
I like the way I only have...
It's so cold. It's cold today. It's just
that should be your, if you ever have a biography, Dillon Osborne, Blood and Foam.
Blood and Foam, a biography about Dillon. And I always talk about this basic idea of a trade-off, and then there was like, so someone needed to dig a hole. They just went down to the shop. The guy that had the spade, he's like, I got the shovel, dude, the spade. There you go, dig the hole. And so one dude's like, I got a slightly better one. And we're like, what makes yours better? And that's where advertising was born, if you think about it. That's so simple. But when you think about it, then it started this like trade war. Of who had a better spade. Mine's got a fucking rubber handle. Sick, bro. How much is it? £5 cheaper. Oh my god. So I just forgot where I was going with all that. But
You're in
concept,
classes.
Oh yeah, the concept being there that whenever you think about that, it's like I always go through these little bits where I'm like, life's really simple. You know, we overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
And if we all were like that, it was just like, well, if everyone was less materialistic and people were more experiential, is that the word? When you're more about life and experience rather than things you own or have. Say to guys who are talking about Fitbits and Apple Watches.
But you say that, and that goes back to our conversation the other day about millennials versus Gen X. Have you noticed how a lot of millennials now, we're not able to own houses generally. We're not able to like buy cars and have lots of material things because we don't have enough money to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Gen X is like, well, I got the house, I got the nice car, I've got the this, that, the other. I've got the villa in Spain or whatever it is. And now a lot of millennials are going, well, there's no point me saving for a house because I will never own one. So I'm just going to spend it on trips to Bali.
Yeah.
And yoga schools and yoga surf holidays or whatever it is. And you go...
Instant gratification as well, though. That's also why. Because we've been brought up that we want like instant gratification gets us through because that's that whole childhood conditioning thing. And teaching us to always be, we need the reward. We work on a reward system, I guess, and like long term. That's why I struggle to save and prefer to just buy something. It's why we fall into the trap of things like buy now, pay in 24 months because it's instant gratification, isn't it?
I don't actually tend to do that. Actually, the one wheel is sitting in a box at the moment.
Just buy it.
It said, oh, you can pay 0% over like 100 years or whatever it is, and then it says, well, in 6 months, you can pay £177 in 6 months. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money a month. Yet, just paying the full grand up front doesn't seem as bad.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that.
It's weird that.
Yeah.
And I just don't like owing people money, really. Yeah. To be quite honest.
I have to admit, I was in a position when I bought mine that I had the money, so I just bought it. And I didn't want to be paying. I'm trying to get to the point where I save up and buy stuff when I have the money rather than buying everything on credit, which we used to, and then we got around to paying it all off. But it is really interesting, that whole concept of like who pushing the boundaries and well, anyway, what I was saying is like life's simple. So like if we all just did our job and our job contributed to society and society allowed us to have a house and have money for food and stuff. But the problem is then someone always wants to do it slightly better. And I think sometimes that's greed and sometimes it's just quality of life. Somebody wants a little bit more. It comes down to what you said the other day when you were like, I'm happy to do that, but if I want it better, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
So then you, being the person, goes, look, I'm happy with the going to work every day, 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock, being given my food and not having to worry about it. But to be honest with you guys, I'd rather not work 5 days a week. Can I work 3 days a week but work 9 till 6? Or, so that I could do more in my time. Or actually, do you know what? I love that you've given us all a free house and we get this meal. But I actually would rather drink some really fancy craft beer and live in a slightly bigger house. So I'd be happy to work a little bit harder to get that. You know, and then you end up with these brackets again. And I just don't think it's anything we're ever... I think it's either full communism control or we don't...
I think it's possible.
There's a middle ground.
I think it is possible, but I think... This is one thing I do believe is that we've grown mankind has grown, species, that's the word I'm looking for, so quickly in the last like 100, 200 years. Like if you look at the it's not the exponential curve, it's like really flat, and then in the last 200 years it goes up like ridiculously. It's almost going back on itself. It's going so fast, so high. And I don't think we are mentally prepared or capable to deal with the technological advances that we've created.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can cope with the speed everything goes at, which is why we have all the mindfulness and yoga and, that's why a lot of that's really popular now, is because we're getting to a point now with technology where I think it could be amazing, but we just don't have the mental capacity to deal with it. At the speed it's going with. And that's why, I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but like, those shows, like all those sci-fi shows like Stargate and stuff like that, where you see those little grey aliens at the end I think they're called the Asgard or something, and they're like this higher level of being, where they're all one and they all like have telekinesis and all this kind of stuff, and they just get it. And that's why they live as a peaceful race, because they're all one. And we're not.
No,
and we're not, and
we look at things
and
like,
we're going to struggle to be to that.
do you remember Minority Report? Do you ever watch that movie?
Oh, I like that movie.
Tom Cruise like that, zip, 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 just grabbing shit out of things that aren't there, screens that float, all that shit, right? I think about things like that and think, I wonder if when we'll get to that point, because we can't be far away from that. But at the same time...
Have you seen Make Art Now? He's already there.
Fuck's sake, yeah. Jesus Christ. But the thing with that is, like, that's all... I feel, right? I just want to say to the guys developing all the tech and apps, can everyone just calm down a second, all right? Yeah, I've just got to grips with this, and now you've all changed it. Stop
I can't even
stuff.
Turn on Call of Duty Warzone without having a seizure.
Ryan and I tried to get our PlayStations to sync up yesterday and play Warzone. Neither of us I couldn't even work out how to get to the lobby bit where you find Warzone. Ryan doesn't know how to log in to his PlayStation account. 15 minutes, we're like, oh, fuck it, don't worry about it. I'll just chat to you tomorrow. And we just hung up, and that was it. Because I've just got to the point where I've just worked out how games work on my phone. And I'm like, I haven't got a... Like... I mean, let's use TikTok as a prime example, right? I've been doing Instagram stories pretty much every day since it started. And this was 3.5 years or something like that, almost 4. And like, I feel like I've got them. Like, I understand them. And there's so much I want to do with them. And then something like TikTok comes out. And then you're like, for fuck's sake, guys. Can everyone calm? And then as TikTok comes out, that other one came out. What was it that was like... It was like Vine.
Bite.
And I'm like, oh God, there's not enough. I haven't got enough mental space to deal with these apps, guys. Whoever is WhatsApp messaging me now, Tiffany, Brian, 15 messages. Stop messaging me 15 messages at once. All after each other. Hi, send. What are you at? Send. Just do it in one message. But like, I find like I struggle to comprehend all of those things. So if someone brought out technology right now that floated, I'd be like, I'm out. No thanks. Somebody give me a printed newspaper. I'm done.
Is it? Are we just getting old?
Yeah, I think so. But it goes. What you were saying there is, it's developing so quickly. Like the generation that develops it doesn't even have enough time to comprehend it and enjoy what's happening before it develops further.
Yeah.
You know, and then you look back at this other technology. You look back and you think that's been like that for a long time. Like. Think about TV. Like, of all the development, TV sort of stayed the way it was. TV and radio they've kind of, the concept of them has been the same for so long. And in the last, I don't know, last five years probably, I've seen real change in how we use that. Starting to use YouTube, more streaming, playlists.
Isn't it really
and
interesting you say TV? Because I remember when obviously YouTube came out and started being a thing, and then when like Netflix and stuff started live streaming, there was such a resistance from traditional channels. And obviously, if you like channels like ITV, Channel 4, it took them ages to get an app.
Yeah.
And I stopped watching Channel 4. I used to love Channel 4 in the early 2000s because it had these weird shows on at night when you come back from the pub, and it was just like Adam and Joe show and just this weird like amazing TV that they had on. And I hate it now because the way they do online streaming is that they're making it difficult for me to watch their TV shows. And I find that really bizarre. And it's like it took the BBC ages to come out with an app, and like all these traditional channels were just so resistant to it all, and now they're all suffering because they just didn't get on board with it quick enough. It's like that's what happened to Blockbuster, isn't it? Netflix came along. Blockbuster had an opportunity.
Netflix was Love Film, wasn't it?
Love Film, yeah.
Love Film,
so I think Love Film.
By the way, we're at 29 minutes 15.
Oh yeah, do you want to do the quick old stop and start?
Fuck yeah, okay. Screw the half-hour rule.
No, it's we had a bit at the beginning, so we can do this for another few seconds.
Start. I think that's important. Go for it. So yeah, Love Film.
So yeah, Love Film. Blockbuster had an opportunity to go online and start doing the whole rental thing, and they just said, no, it's all a fad. We don't give a shit. Didn't even bother keeping tabs on it. And then Love Film became Netflix and just destroyed Blockbuster. Yeah. And now they are no longer.
And did you do Love Film? Because that was a really funny
I did Love Film for ages.
For me, I think Love Film will be one of those things we talk about the same as mini discs. Remember mini discs?
Ooh, I had a mini disc
player. From cassette to CD player to mini disc to MP3. Is that right?
Yeah,
and I did mini disc where I used to plug it into the TV and record Scuzz and MTV onto it. and then
That's
just
what I
like
used to do as well.
listen to shit like that. And it was possibly, I don't know if it was better or worse. I hated the CD portable CD player thing. I hated that whole thing. I loved cassette. And I loved because cassette was just indestructible. Cassette and MP3 player, everything in between that was dog eggs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. I even like now, I've got a bit of a vinyl collection, but when I was in the States, my car that I had, I only had a cassette player, so I went out and bought loads of cassettes, and all those like 90s grunge bands, all their tapes were like £2 or $2 everywhere I went. So I just bought a whole load of secondhand ones. It was amazing. I love cassette.
Yeah, I'm a huge
if I had a choice, I'd like to have in my car a cassette player with Bluetooth for MP3.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Because CDs just, they were, even now.
I hate CDs.
Skip in your car and all. My mate Ryan used to have a 5-disc player in his boot. 5 discs. I was like, that's amazing. We don't even have to change CDs. Unless if we do, we've got to stop the car, empty the freaking boot, and do it that way. But I just feel like Love Film was one of those things we'll look back on in the same way as MP3s, where we go, oh yeah, do you remember that phase? Small phase that made a big difference.
It was only about 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, because what was the process? You went online and you hired that out, and they posted you the DVD or the movie DVD. In like a thin sleeve, and you got like 5 at a time, didn't you? And you had them for like a week.
Because I had another thing called Black Star, which was similar to Love Film, and I think actually Love Film bought Black Star. It was it was a similar thing, but you could. It depended on what account you had. So like you could get like 5 DVDs a month. Yeah. So you could get them all at the same time, or you could get them one after the other.
That's what it was.
And then you wouldn't get the next lot until they'd received the others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And it was mad, it was super quick, because you would order it and it would be like there like 2 days later.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and it was mind blowing. I totally forgot about that, and that became Netflix. And I remember when Netflix started, it was not Love Film did that, then Love Film started streaming. You could stream Love Film.
I think so.
Before they changed names to Netflix.
Because I think you could stream Love Film, because when you got the DVD, it also came up as a stream as well. It's a bit like, when you buy a CD or a vinyl from Amazon, you then get access to it on Amazon Prime, to listen to as an MP3. It was a similar thing to that, I believe.
And that was then
but it was so slow and everything.
Because I remember when that happened, and then I remember even the first early days of streaming Netflix, and it would be like, you would like click, and it would just go for like an eternity. It would like a good minute. You'd be like, and then it would like skip, and it would stop playing, and then sometimes you'd have to watch a 480p version of it because you're like, oh, fair enough. And now,
Netflix is ridiculous.
Netflix lags for like a sec. I'm like, I play. I want it to go from 0 to 100%, I got 100%. Yeah. If it goes any slower than, I'm just like, not for me. Reset. Close the app. Why are you taking so long? And it's an unbelievable service now.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, there you go.
I think that's it. I think we're done.
Great.
We've covered everything from abortion through to Netflix. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening. Take it easy.